another day. I wonder what it'll bring. Hey man, you have time for the Winthrop game tonight?
Time? Time for what? What?
The Winthrop game? Well,
According to the Jews or the Egyptians? They measure time differently.
just man, I don't know, the Americans, okay? Just let me see your phone, okay? I don't have a smartphone.
Would you rather see my sundial? It measures in hours. Or perhaps my water clock back at home. It's much more impressive.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Oh my. It's almost time for me to turn my hourglass over.
Okay, you have fun with that, right?
You know, you took a look at the sun to tell what time it is. The ancients did it for centuries. It's rather simple, really.
Stay away from me.
I've started that all wrong. My name's Thomas.
How did you...
Think of me like time. I can't be stopped, but I can be understood. That's why we've made clocks and calendars after all.
What do you mean?
I'd rather hope you'd ask.
Now, the ancients quickly realized that if they wanted to eat, they had to know when to plant and when to harvest. They realized there were seasons that repeated themselves. Also, the moon appeared different from night to night, according to a cycle. After a certain number of cycles, the seasons changed. Thus, they began a lunar calendar. But this was inexact and only applied to where it was used. Eventually, the Egyptians figured out that a year, as we know it, based on the sun, was something like 360 days. 12 months of 30 days. That wasn't quite right, so they added a 5-day festival at the end of each year. Now, for a long time, this seemed to work, but eventually that darn 1/4 of a day would catch up to them. It wasn't until 46 BC that Julius Caesar and Sosigenes created their own solar calendar, which came to be known as the Julian calendar. It had 30 to 31 day months, and there was an extra day every 4th year. However, this was off by mere minutes, which over centuries can really mess things up. In 1545, however, the fact that the calendar was off by over a week's time galvanized Pope Paul III and then Pope Gregory XIII to reform the calendar. They advanced the calendar from October 5th to October 15th and dictated that a leap year was every 4 years, with exceptions. Unfortunately, it still isn't perfect. In about 3,000 years it'll be off by a day. But we haven't figured out anything better yet. Funny people. They don't realize that all they have to do is...
He had me tied up.
There's no one else here, Gavin.
Wait, what?
Hey, whatever you do in your spare time, it's fine with me.
Wait, Sarah! again?
I'm not your enemy. I am trying to help you.
By tying me up and making me listen to you ranting about calendars?
No. To free you from the prison of Christian dogma.
Excuse me? You're not gonna go away, are you?
No.
Okay, so, short-sightedness. Involving clocks.
In a way.
So now we're not talking about time?
We are talking about time.
But only in a way.
Yes.
Because this will free me from Christian dogma.
Yes, it will.
Okay, proceed.
Now, as I was saying, short-sightedness, much like Christianity.
Arguable.
Are you done?
Possibly.
Anyway, it's rather simple really. The ancients used the sun, as I suggested to you, by using a sundial. Obviously, this only worked when the sun was out, and in the early morning and late evening, it could not be used because the sun was not yet high enough. Obviously, this was a problem. Someone then invented the water clock to measure time by measuring a constant flow. But water erodes, so the flow would change over time and distort the measurement.
All well and good. How does this apply to your so-called short-sightedness of Christianity?
It doesn't. That's a lesson for another time. Now, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, the hourglass came next, but had to be flipped over and over and over again with impeccable timing to keep it accurate. It was either that or make a freakishly large hourglass, which some people did. It wasn't until the 1600s that Christian Huygens came along and revolutionized time with his pendulum and escapement clock. Then there was our modern clock, the marine clock, which used a spring instead of an escapement. This aided sailors in their navigation and led to a revolution of geography. But that's another lesson.
Guess that means you'll be back.
Indeed. But for now, I tire of you. Goodbye.
Wonderful. Shout out to Davis Dean and Sarah Kitzman. Thank you guys so much. I cannot thank you enough for helping me out in this video. Without you guys, I would have an F. And so I give you my everlasting adoration and gratitude. I also want to thank Mr. Renee for giving me the opportunity to think outside the box on a school project. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had a blast working on this, from pre-production to filming, the post-production, making the movie score, everything. It was amazing. I loved it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to my mom also for agreeing to let me do this. Just want to let you guys know, episode 2 of the Discoveries of Thomas coming out in spring semester. This one's going to be a lot better than this one. I'm just going to let you know. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day, have a blessed week, have a blessed year. never stop learning, and always look for Jesus. You'll find that's the purpose of this series. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Alright, Garrett, I forgot my line.
I don't think that's the line.
I'll send it to Miss Renee and my mom.
It doesn't. That's a lesson for another time. Now, as I was saying, I already did this.
No, you didn't.
The hourglass came. Oh, that's true. I just said that before, as I was so rudely interrupted. Okay. It wasn't until the 1600s that
Christian Huygens.
Christian, it's not just Christian.
Christian Huygens.
It wasn't until the 1600s that Christian Huygens. It sounds so weird.
I think it's Huygens.
Christian Huygens. It wasn't until the 1600s that Christian Huygens came along and gosh dang it, I've got the lines in front of me.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And rolling.
I'm not sure. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, 5,
Dead puppies.
4, dead puppies.
It's not funny, Gage.
4, 3, 2, 1.
See how long I can sprint. Ready?
Yep.
Screw that. Your hat. I lost my hat. Alright, rolling.
You know, you can simply look at this.
Dang it!
That was a good one.
When I'm about there, Sarah just kind of nod at him and tell him to go ahead and come out.
What's he say?
Okay.
I'm gonna nod at you
Ready?
to go out.
Alright, rolling.
You know,
Garrett!
I'm supposed to smile.
Come on, Garrett.
Put some hustle into it.
We're gonna get it. Yeah. Rolling.
Do I have the time? Time for what?
I didn't say rolling.
Well,
I was making sure I wasn't laughing. I'm just kind of getting the sound. Rolling?
Rolling.
do I have the time? The time for what?
The Winter King.
Something about
No. Something about
Garrett, stop backing up.
the Winter Game, you know. Smartphone.
Would you rather see my sundial? It measures in hours. Or perhaps my water clock back at home. It's much cooler.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Oh my. It's almost time for me to turn my watch.
Rolling?
Do I have the time? The time for what?
The Winter Game, you know?
According to the Egyptians or the Jews. They measure time differently, you know.
Jeez, man, the Americans, I don't know. Just let me see your phone. I don't have a smartphone, okay?
Would you rather see my sundial? It measures in hours. Or perhaps my water cooler back. I swear.